Hi, Sandy Albers with Insurance Agency Marketing. Just wanted to say thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to attend this webinar with Baltimore Life and Gary Voith with Baltimore Life. So greatly appreciate it. I head up the SPL division of insurance agency marketing services, and there's just a few slides that I like to go over before I send it on over to Gary to go over Baltimore Life, who's been a great partner with us for several years, and he can let you know about the great products and the ease of using Baltimore Life. I wanted to let everyone know that when you first contract with us and become a new producer, start writing business in your first 6 months, if you place $100,000 of business, whether that's life, annuity, MedSup, long-term care, combination thereof, you can choose a 1,500 piece postcard mailing. You can choose a $750 cash, or you can choose a marketing analysis, and we can help with a corporate identity package on getting everything wrapped up for you in regards to your corporation. If you'd like to hold off because you think, gosh, I'm going to do $250,000 in business, you can choose, and again, that's place business. You can choose a 3,000 piece mailing, postcard mailing. You can choose $2,000 in your marketing reimbursement, which I'll discuss soon, or you can choose a $1,500 Visa gift card. If you'd like to hold off from that and think, oh my gosh, I'm going to go gangbusters in my first 6 months and I'm going to place $500,000 of business, whether that is life, annuity, MedSup, long-term care, or a combination thereof, again, you can choose a 5,000 piece postcard mailing and presentation with one of our top producers, Matt Gill. He'll give you a training session. Or you can choose a 4,000 piece postcard mailing and one of our top producers, Dave Pimper seminar. You can choose a billboard ad, seminar presentation. We'll do a full website overhaul, or you can choose my favorite, which has always been my favorite, trip for a Ritz-Carlton getaway. If you'd like to hold off from there and do $750,000 of placed business, you can do, we'll help you with a video for social media campaign. You can do 4,500 lead credits and their digital annuity leads. You can choose a retirement boss radio, so you can actually be a radio host, and it includes setup costs and 8 recorded shows. Or you can do 2 seminars that are guaranteed 50 buying units. If you like to hold off and you do $1 million of placed business in your first 6 months, you can choose a preset annuity appointments between 8 and 10. You can do 3 videos, 3 consumer-facing brochures, and 3 custom articles and special projects on request. Or you can choose a core story brand builder and get published in major news outlets, whether it's ABC, Fox News, NBC, etc. For our IAMS Business Builder, when you refer an agent over to us and that agent gets contracted, we give you a $50 one-time bonus for that referred agent. When that agent writes their first piece of business and places it with us, we give you a $100 one-time bonus. Now, this agent, if they continue to write and place business with us, you get 10 basis points on any of their MIGA placed business. You can get 0.075% on any of their placed SPL business. You can get 15 basis points on their life target premium business, or 20 basis points on their indexed annuity business. This does not come out of their commissions. This comes directly from IAMS as a thank you for trusting us with that referral. And this is indefinite. There's no time frame on this. As long as they continue to place and write business with us, you continue to get that override. We also pay for you for every $100,000 in indexed annuity premium. We put $100 in that marketing reimbursement account I just briefly spoke about previously. If you place $100,000, every $100,000 of SPL premium, we put $200 in there. And life target premium is $10,000 of life target premium, and we put $200 in there. So this marketing reimbursement account, every time you place and hit those premium limits, we place that amount of money in your marketing reimbursement account. And what that does is it helps you with expenses for your business. You can submit an invoice to us, whether that's for a computer, seminars, whatever business related expense it is. We will pay up to 50% of that invoice as long as you have that money in your marketing reimbursement account. So it's another great way how we support you even after you get contracted. And we have amazing back office support, whether it's to help you with case design, do any type of life and annuity quotes. We have paperless contracting, so we make it really easy for you to get contracted with IMES from the beginning and in the future. We have top sales expertise and coaching. We have forms at your fingertips on our website. You can pull forms 24/7 at any time. You can give us a call and we'll send you the forms. And really, I think is very important is the submission to commission. So our case management, both on life and annuity, once we receive an app, we scrub those apps, make sure that nothing's missing. If anything is missing, we give you a call, let you know, make sure we get the corrections completed. The day that we receive the app and it's fully completed is the day that we send it to the carrier. We then follow up every 3 days on that application. Doesn't mean that we're bothering you every 3 days. It just means that we are looking at that case. We're touching that case every 3 days to make sure that it's staying on course and getting approved and placed as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible. It's just, again, we take over that case from submission to commission. So until you get paid, we're continuing to look at that case. We also have Firelight, which is extremely important. The carriers you can see we have on the left-hand side that are available for Firelight. And what that means is you can sign up for Firelight through IMES and complete the applications right online. It makes sure that you don't miss anything on the applications that delays the underwriting process or the submission process. It's immediately submitted to the carrier. It shortens the underwriting process and the commission process tremendously. As you can see on the right-hand side, these are carriers that will be coming soon. So if you are not set up on Firelight right now, I strongly suggest that you get set up on Firelight. Again, great opportunity to make sure that your applications are completed correctly to get you paid quicker. We also have an amazing creative team, whether you're looking for postcards, handouts, flyers, custom logo design, any type of brochures and business cards. We also do personal website, whether you have one that just needs to be refreshed or you don't have one and you need one completely made for you. Any type of online newsletters, social media consulting, anything like that that you are interested in, please contact our creative team. They are just so talented and would be more than happy to help you and fit the needs of you and your agency. As I was saying, our IMES website at www.imesinc.com, great tool to have. If you're not registered, get registered. If you're having issues, please give me a call. I'll be more than happy to assist you with that. You are able to quote 24/7 a day. every day, 7 days a week. So you can pull quotes, whether it's term or UL. You have current annuity news. You have an annuity grid that gives you the best MIGA rates out there. Again, you can pull forms right there online. Also with our website, you can look at when our seminars are. You can pull up our past recorded webinars. It's always accessible to you. So if you are at a client's house and you needed at 7 o'clock and you needed a revised quote, we're closed. Great way to go onto our website and get that quote. We also have a strong wealth management team, and we created this a few years ago when there were some changes with the DOL. And the reason we created this is to increase revenue for you as the agent. It improves client retention because you're able to offer a full range of products and services. And it also strengthens your clients' relationships because you're viewed differently by your clients. You are viewed now as a fiduciary. So again, increases your revenue, increases and strengthens your relationships with your clients. So if you have questions on wealth management, we'll be more than happy to direct you to the great team there for our wealth management. And then we also have, this is amazing, this is a cruise that we're doing for our Top Producers Summit. The qualification period started December 1st of 2020, and it will go all the way through June 30th of 2022. You need 4.5 million points to qualify. What an amazing opportunity. You go to Rome, you go to Greece, you go to Croatia, and you and a guest are able to do that. And again, that's for writing and placing your business with us. It's a tremendous opportunity. It's an extremely long qualification period. We will do everything in our power to make sure you and a guest get there. So please, if you have any questions, let us know. We would love to see as many of our agents on that cruise as possible. So we also have a Life and Annuity Academy, and we'll start doing those when we're able to meet in person. And what we do is we get producers from all over the United States. We usually have 1,000 apply. We take 25 to 30, and we go over different sales ideas and strategies. We go over, index annuities and unraveling them and how the new DOL rules and changes have affected that. Go over different annuity threats and trends. We go over turnkey seminar systems. So if you're doing seminars and they're just not working, we'll go over the top seminar systems for you. Large life case marketing, go over that and how to get into that. Wealth transfer tools, sales software tools. It's a wonderful opportunity to speak with other agents from all over the United States and find out what they're doing to be successful. We pay for this for you. If you're interested, once we get this opened up, all you need to do is register, and then we'll get in contact with you. And then, of course, we have Facebook and LinkedIn where you can follow and like us. So right now, I am going to move this over to Gary Voith. He is just a rock star over there at Baltimore Life, and he is going to go over their products and how it can most benefit you. Gary? Hey, Gary, we're not able to hear you.
Well, Sandy, I hear you now, so there I go. By the way, thanks so much for the introduction. At my age, I'll take that compliment of a rock star, even though most days I don't feel like it. Hey, listen, good morning, everyone, and thank you for wherever you might be. I'm in a snow and sleet storm in Maryland right now, but it's beautiful out there. I'm in the process of moving my home to Florida, Ocala, Florida next week. So I'm getting the last shot of snow, hopefully, that I'm going to see for a long, long time. But many of you might be in parts of the country right now, quite frankly, that have gotten absolutely just slam. And my thoughts are with you out there. The snow and the sleet that's hitting the Texas area and some of the other parts of the country is just a little beyond what most people can cope with. So my thoughts and prayers are with your families or friends out there that you have in those parts of the country that are getting hit very, very hard right now. Hopefully today we have a little escape time that we can talk about Baltimore Life's tax efficient asset transfer program. By the way, one more thing I do want to say before I get started into this. You know, I'm always amazed at the offerings from IMES when I see this and what a great organization they are and partner they are with Baltimore Life. But I'm a licensed agent, even though I'm not out there producing today. If I had a contract, there's the type of organization you'd want to contract with. The offerings are just unbelievable, and they've always been that way. That's why they're such a great partner with us. But today we are going to talk about Baltimore Life's tax efficient asset transfer program, featuring our generation legacy and single premium whole life products. Both these products are really designed with your senior client in mind, who have what we like to call some leave behind money they don't want to live on. They just simply want to leave it behind to the next generation. And no matter whether the funds are coming from after-tax cash funds like CDs, money markets, mutual funds, or they're coming from qualified funds like IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, or annuity products. These are two products that can satisfy the needs for those types of clients that have excess cash that they want to pass along, and do it in a much greater way and tax efficiently through the use of life insurance. You know, the asset transfer landscape is huge. You know, without reading this slide, I would just tell you that it's trillions of dollars of wealth out there, and it's continuing to move to the next generation over the next 50 years. Most people, you know, and parents believe they want to leave money. Most people don't have a plan, but they'd like to have a plan. And that's really where you come into play. The biggest thing I would tell you in this marketplace, if you're not in it already, is if you're already doing a good fact find, that's certainly the foundation for being successful in this market. Find the money, and find the next step is what the intent or the goal of that money is. Once you've done that, it really opens wide to the conversation of looking to reposition assets, whether it's needed for income, which is a totally different path with annuities and other plans that can generate income, or it's looking to move to a legacy type product, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So the first product we're talking about is Generation Legacy, and that product is designed for single premium dollars coming from non-qualified deferred annuities and other qualified plan funds like 401ks, IRAs, 403b, and the like. It obviously, again, is money not needed for daily living. It is there to establish an estate the client wants to leave behind to their heirs or favorite charities, but do it in a tax efficient way through the use of a life insurance vehicle. The issue ages for this product are 60 through 80, so that's hitting the wheelhouse of people that are making these decisions at that point in life and have that wealth. But with this product, you're writing a single application. It's issuing two products that once issued work harmoniously together to provide all the benefits we're going to talk about. We're going to issue a SPIA that takes the rollover of the funds, and then the SPIA is going to fund a life product that becomes paid up after a 7 or 10 year period. The nice thing is, you know, for years, you know, you would have to write a separate SPIA with one company, maybe a separate life product with another, or even the same company, and then you would have to remember to move funds from one to the other to pay it. You don't have to do that here. You write one. It works administratively by us together to complete the whole picture and provide all the benefits that you'll see. We have simplified underwriting on this product through 4 tables of underwriting. We also have automatically included in all states where it's approved, and that's the very high majority of states, our accelerated death benefit rider, which truly can provide some, you know, living benefits to your client at a time when it's needed most. Another wrinkle a couple of years ago we were asked to put into this product was addressing the need of couples that have one spouse who's healthy and another spouse who's not so healthy. And maybe that other spouse who's not so healthy has funds out there, annuities, qualified funds that they want to move along, right, to the next generation. And then you have the healthy spouse who can be insured for life insurance. So we created the spouse option for Generation Legacy, where you have one person who's the life insured, that's the healthy spouse, and then you have the second person who becomes the annuitant. They are the ones who have the rollover of the funds that go into the SPIA. Now, when you do that, of course, it's generating what your client's looking for, and that's passing money along to the next generation tax efficiently. But keep in mind, once you start that, the annuitant, the unhealthy spouse, does waive the right for the beneficiary to commute that to a future SPIA payout. So it's there to be designed to pay up that life insurance and to have that death benefit from the healthy spouse passed along to the next generation. Now, the good news is that there is no maximum age limit for that annuitant. So when you have the unhealthy spouse, they could be hypothetically, 50, or they could be 90, or doesn't matter, outside the boundaries of the normal to 60, 80 range, they can still be the funding annuitant in this equation. So that's the Generation Legacy spouse option. When you have those opportunities come up, just think about us as a way that we can solve that need. So when you look at the market out there, there's roughly $7.3 billion of in-force deferred annuities back in 2018 when the stat was done. This number doesn't really change. It goes up normally a little bit, but just over 65% of that money is tax qualified employee type plans, right? So the 401ks, the 403bs, those are the type plans that have a lot of it. But 35% of that money is in the non-qualified annuity market that you, in fact, sell to and have products out there in force with your clients. We know the clients that have 401ks are looking for distribution right now of those funds, distribution strategy. Part of that strategy could be income, which a big part of it will be, but then another part from those 401ks or IRAs is going to be, I don't need all that income, I want to pass a certain amount along. There's the product fit. The annuities, I've heard people use the word, annuities are great products to generate wealth, to pay out income. But if you're not looking for it to do the income piece at later in life, it can really be a tax time bomb for the next generation, right? Because when that person dies, that growth that exploded in that annuity through the years is just going to be passed along to the next generation anyway, and they're going to be in a much higher tax bracket than the client was at the time. So why not do it in a more tax efficient way through the use of life insurance? So I would say to you that, the money that you're putting into this product, you're bringing from other vehicles, and it really can be a tax efficient way to pass along wealth. So how's the concept work? Let's think, conceptually as a gift your client's trying to pass along to the next generation. You're going to help facilitate the transfer of funds from that other vehicle, let's say the annuity or the IRA, the 401k, and it's going to go into the gift box. Inside the gift box, you're going to write one app, two products: the SPIA, single premium immediate annuity that receives the transfer of the funds, and a limited premium payment whole life product. Once issued again, Baltimore Life seamlessly administers the payment on an annual basis from the SPIA to pay for the life insurance. Now, what dictates that payment pattern? It's the issue age. So if a client's 60 to 74, the base insured is 60 to 74, we will pay that payment from the SPIA to the life product over 10 payments. If the client's 75 to 80, we'll pay it over 7 payments until the life product becomes paid up. So the beauty is, though, during that period of time while the SPIA is paying for the life insurance, if the client were to die during that period of time, the insured, we will pay out an income tax-free death benefit, of course, that's greater than the single premium paid. In addition, our product will also pay the remaining payments from the SPIA that were not used to pay for the life insurance. So it's those remaining years. We'll talk a little bit more about those payouts in just a moment. But at the end of the 7 or 10 years, the annuity's done its job, it goes away, and the life insurance product becomes fully paid up. It continues to provide the income tax-free death benefits greater than the single premium paid. It continues to provide cash value growth in the product on a tax-deferred basis. And yes, it continues to provide that accelerated death benefit, which can provide living benefits to your client. So just to recap, the issue age for Gen Leg is 60 to 80. It's based on current age or age at last birthday. And the reason this is so important is that we're going to be transferring money from other products and institutions. That transfer process might take 20 to 40 days, depending on how quick things move along from that other carrier. But we will issue the policy based on the age your client is the day we receive the funds. We can't backdate in that situation, in other words. So the minimum premium to get this started, it's only $5,000. How many clients do you have out there right now that have multiple annuity products that are rolling over time, different periods, they're rolling to different maturities, maybe you're keeping them in force, going from period to period. But their only goal, if you ask them with that money, is to move it along to the next generation. They're never going to need it for income. So that is a perfect prospect for this product. Again, the 401ks, the IRAs, the folks that are nearing retirement out there who think, I've got all this 401k money. I know I'm going to use it for income, but there's pieces of this I want to move along. Again, perfect prospect for this product. The maximum face amount that we'll issue based on the single premium paid is $450,000. Now, we do have one underwriting class for this product, and we issue on a simplified underwriting basis. It's standard, and we account for any risk standard through Table 4. We have 2 premium classes. We accommodate both non-tobacco and tobacco users based on the risk. Cash values, they accumulate in the life insurance product on a non-participating basis. Now, you can make partial surrenders from the life product where the cash value is accumulating. Those partial surrenders can happen, though, anytime after the life product becomes fully paid up, 7 or 10 years. Loans, though, they can be made at any time from the life product at a maximum rate of 8%. So now let's take a look at the accelerated death benefit rider. As I said, this is automatically included in all states where it's approved. And there's 3 health event triggers that will allow you to accelerate the face amount of the life product. They are terminal illness, qualified nursing home confinement, and in situations of extended care, home health care, and adult daycare. Obviously, it increases the liquidity of the life product in a living benefit way, but upon the decision of the client to accelerate, which can happen anytime after issue, a lien for the amount of money that was accelerated will generate, an interest rate of 8% off the death benefit at the end. And I'll show you that calculation in just a second. $250,000 is the maximum acceleration, but the good news is this. This benefit is paid out once, it's paid out in a lump sum, and the client can use the money for whatever reason they deem necessary. So this in no way should be sold as a long-term care policy, because it's not. Long-term care policy has its own benefits. We know the many benefits it has. But for your clients who cannot afford long-term care insurance especially, they can see this as a way to generate funds to help offset health costs, or extended care costs, or just quite frankly, they want to take a trip around the world or take their family on a big trip, and they have those funds available. Can be used for whatever reason. So now let's take a look at those health event triggers and the definition of them and the payout. So terminal illness. Client needs to be diagnosed as terminally ill with a life expectancy of 12 months or less to live. In this case, they could accelerate up to 75% of the face amount. For qualified nursing and extended care, the payout could be up to 50%. The definition for the acceleration for nursing home is the client needs to be chronically ill, confined to a nursing home continuously for 90 days with the expectation of a permanent confinement. If they are in an extended care situation, again, same chronic illness, have been so for 90 days, but now they're requiring care provided by a licensed home health care agency or a licensed or state certified adult daycare center. In either situation, we would pay out 50%. Now, I will tell you there's about 6 states that have lesser payouts, lesser than the 75, lesser than the 50. All that shows up in our state approval charts that you can find on our agent portal. Pennsylvania and Indiana are an example of that, where the payouts are at 65 and 40% respectively. But most states are in that 75 and 50% range that you see here. So if you look at the definition of a chronic illness, what does that really mean? Well, if the client satisfies either of these definitions, we consider them to be chronically ill. The first one is they can't perform 2 out of 6 activities of daily living. Client might be okay on their ADLs, but they could be suffering from a severe organic mental illness like Alzheimer's or dementia. In either case, we consider them to be chronically ill as it applies to the nursing home or the extended care situations. So let's take a look at the payout options of how these work. This is the client who says, you know, I'm terminally ill, I have $100,000 in face on the life policy, and I want to accelerate. Again, anytime after issue. So they can accelerate up to 75%, which the payout would be $75,000 in cash to them. We would add a $100 service fee for the transaction, making the original lien $75,100. Now, if they were to die immediately after taking that money, no time for interest to accrue on the lien, the death benefit would be calculated by taking the face less the original lien, giving you a $24,900 remaining death benefit. But the more likely scenario is probably this one, and that is where they accelerated at one point and then a year later they died. All right, so here you have the still getting the 75 grand up front in cash. Now the death benefit becomes the face amount less the original lien plus 1 year's worth of interest, giving you a remaining death benefit of $18,892. Now I will tell you that these products, these riders, I should say, are designed to pay out now, but also have remaining death benefit to keep this qualified as a life product. And I think the key thing you want to know is that people say, well, why is there this interest rate and why can't I get all the money now? Well, any life insurance company that have these riders either will use the lien concept or another approach that I'll show you next, because if we're going to pay out a death benefit in advance, there's a cost for that, right? And that's why in this case you have the lien and the interest factor. So could these riders technically terminate for any reason? Well, keep in mind you have a life policy and you have an annuity. They're separate products, even though we have them joined at the hip and we're administering them separately. You know, if the client came along to you 2 years or 3 years into this cycle and said, you know, I really changed my mind, I don't want this anymore, you know, you could separate those products. You could have the annuity pay out a income stream annually for the remaining, 7 years in that example. But the life product, of course, would have very little cash value after 3 years. It would end, but the riders would also end. Obviously, if the insured dies, we don't pay out an accelerated death benefit, we pay out an actual death benefit. And the other example is, what if the accelerated death benefit riders received the payout on one of the riders? Let's say you accelerated 50% for the nursing home provision. You can't come back and accelerate again for terminal illness. It's a once and done. We pay it out. We have remaining death benefit. It just works like that. Now you might say to yourself, what if the lien exceeds the remaining death benefit? Pretty unlikely that's going to happen. You know, in the terminal illness example, the client would have to live roughly 4+ years for the interest to outrun the remaining life insurance benefit. And that's why these riders are set up the way they are. If that ever happened, the owner may repay all or part of the lien at any time to keep it qualified as a life product. Keep in mind, there's still cash value in the product that accumulates. And if you decide to take a lien because of this rider, you cannot also have an active policy loan. It's one or the other. As we will always tell you, and every company should always tell you, you know, benefits under these type riders may, and the key word is may, be taxable, but you know, it's very limited circumstances that would happen. I'm not the tax advisor, so I'm not going to give you that advice. So consult with the tax advisor. So here's an example of a potential payout. Here's a female 70, non-tobacco, who put $50,000, let's say, coming from an annuity. It immediately gave her and her family over a $78,000 life insurance benefit. So if she died day one, she's increased her estate value by what? 28,000 plus. Not to mention that if she dies, in this case, in the first 10 years, her remaining annuity payout would also be paid to the survivor. But look at these payouts on the accelerated death benefit rider. I mean, this is real cash to a client and their family at a time when it really could be needed most. Certainly a great thing to have if they can't afford a long-term care policy. And even if they can, this is cash that they can get for any reason and use for any reason. So what's another tax efficiency of having this product, Generation Legacy? Well, we think it's in how the money is paid out from the qualified fund. So the taxable gain, okay, let's say you have an IRA where the money's never been taxed before, or you have, you know, an annuity where there's a basis and a gain. Eventually, there's going to be some type of gain in there, and eventually Uncle Sam's got to be paid in one way, shape, or form on that gain. So the beauty is, though, if you're rolling money, let's say from an IRA where it's never been taxed before, and you roll it into the SPIA, which is a qualified SPIA used to pay life insurance premium, we're able to spread out that tax or that gain to the client over a 10 or 7-year period. So as the premiums are being paid each year, the annuitant, or in this case also the insured, let's say, is going to get a 1099 for the gain or the interest income that they had received. All right, and with an IRA, it's each year's payment is basically going to be taxable, but they'll get a 1099. So it's going to be very important the client understands that, but the beauty is you're able to spread it out. The other advantage with that payout is that this SPIA payout does satisfy the RMD rules. And of course, we know that the RMD kicked up to 72 now. So, you know, it does satisfy the RMD rules. If death occurs during the period, though, while the SPIA is still paying for the life insurance, we know the life insurance is income tax free, but the remaining payments from the SPIA would also be paid. Now, the default method we use to pay out those remaining SPIA payments are annual payments. So if there's 7 more years left in a 10-year payment stream, that survivor beneficiary would get 7 more years of annual payments. But they might say, you know what? I want a commuted lump sum, lesser commuted lump sum. We'll pay that out. And of course, they would get a 1099 for the gain. Key thing about the application we want to let you know is that we're not set up with this product to do any withholdings, all right? So when you roll the money over, please make sure you check on the application that the client does not want money withheld from the annuity they're rolling over. Otherwise, we've got to send everything back to you because the math on the product just doesn't work if we have to do a withholding, because it also would take away the beauty of spreading the tax out over the 7 or 10-year period. So now here's some examples of premiums to death benefits. And I want you to think about those senior clients that you have right now or prospects that you meet that are in these situations. We've talked about a few. 65, non-tobacco, 50 grand, let's say, coming from an annuity. But because they're 65, we're going to set up a 10-year payout from the SPIA to pay up a 10-year limited premium payment whole life product. For the male, the face amount is $76,979, and for the female, the face is $86,605. So what did you just do for this female 65? Well, you've increased her estate value by $36,605 right out of the gates. Not forgetting that if she dies in the first 10 years, the remaining payments from the SPIA would also be paid. Client might say to you, well, what if I'm in a 24% tax bracket and I'm making 3% in my money? Wouldn't I be better off? Well, it would take her over 18 years just to accumulate that $36,000+ bump you gave her in estate value. So it really is a beautiful scenario, knowing that she's going to get, her survivor is going to get an almost $87,000 income tax-free death benefit just from the life insurance portion. Here's the 75-year-old, little older, little shorter life expectancy, but the numbers still look good, don't they? At 75, this client would be set up with a 7-year payout on the SPIA and a 7-year limited premium payment whole life product. For the male, the face amount is just over $61,000, and for the female, the face amount is nearing $67,000. So look at these increases you're providing for the client in their estate value to pass along wealth in a much greater way, in a much more tax efficient way. This is a screenshot of a ledger that you can generate from one of our pieces of our proposal software. And we also can generate a similar look on using our mobile link software you could use right on your phone or smart tablet. But here it shows that female 70 non-tobacco who has 50 grand from an annuity with a basis of 40,000. You see there on column 3 how the single premium goes in, 50 grand. The payout is $5,250 a year from the SPIA to pay for the life insurance. And remember, that's automatically happening. You don't have to put in a request for a premium payment to be made. Based on the basis the client has, $4,000 roughly is the excludable amount. The estimated taxable income based on the interest factor is about $1,249.50. So that is that's the 1099 that client's going to get each year. And it's very, very important the client understand that up front so they're not getting surprised when they get a 1099. Of course, the ledger goes on to show the life insurance death benefit of over 78 grand and the potential SPIA payout if the client were to die during that first 10-year period. So it's a great way to really show the ebb and flow of the cash, what the tax benefits are, where the 1099 factor is going to be. Very important the clients see this as you're closing and asking for that check. Quick thing here on forms, I'll just tell you that, because you're dealing with transfer of funds, qualified funds, all those type of things, we have a forms package. Go to our agent site or call IMS, your wholesale team there, and they'll help you through this. Get all the forms that you need to generate your app package and be able to write the business. We also have a lot of great agent sales support on our site, including our mobile link software, which you can download right to your phone or go right to the mobile link site. It's mobile.baltlife.com, mobile.baltlife.com. That'll get you to mobile link, and on mobile link, you'll be able to generate the proposal look for generation legacy and single premium whole life right there on your phone or smart tablet. We have a number of other great marketing tools out there for you to support the marketing and point of sale for this product. Let's go on to single premium whole life. This is the sister product. This is the other piece of being able to pass along a legacy to a client who wants to do that, increase their estate, do it tax efficiently through the use of life insurance. There's some key differences I'm going to point out. The first of which is the source of the funds. Single premium whole life is designed to take funds from after-tax cash vehicles, CDs, money markets, mutual funds, and where appropriate, 1035 life-to-life product exchanges. With this product, a little wider issue age because we're working with after-tax cash funds, 50 to 85 year. Another advantage is this one has 2 tiers of underwriting. And we can go through table 8, and I'll talk about that more. It also has that accelerated death benefit rider automatically included. Now, the advantage with this one is it gives you a little bit more liquidity of getting money out of it, and I'll show you how that works again in just a moment. So issue age for single premium whole life is 50 to 85. It is based on current age, or age at last birthday. Underwriting class is standard, which takes into account through simplified underwriting any risk, standard through table 4, and special, which takes into account any risk, table 5 through table 8. So that client with a few more challenging health conditions would qualify for the single premium whole life product. 2 premium classes, again, non-tobacco and tobacco. And clearly the big thing is the minimum premium to get this started, it's only $5 grand. How many clients do you have out there that have those multiple CDs, money market accounts, where they've siloed their money? As you know, seniors silo money. Here's the money for the kids, the grandkids, the favorite charity, and this money is being directed in that way. I've seen and talked to clients through the years that say, I want to pass along the money I have in my CD for my grandchildren for education. Why don't you be able to show them a way that they can do that in a much greater way through this type of product? And by the way, we have software out on our site that you can do a side-by-side comparative look of a CD compared to this product. So this is a great, great tool. Here's another thing that you want to think about. Many of you out there maybe are working in selling final expense type of needs, right? Small face amounts of life insurance. You go to a client who's maybe 70 years old and you say, Mrs. Jones says, I really don't need Sandy any life insurance right now. I have a burial account set up. Well, that means one of 2 things. They either have a pre-arrangement with the local funeral home, or they have a CD set up at the local bank that their kids know that's the money set aside to bury mom. Here's that role play. Mrs. Jones, you're 70, you're going to live many more years, and as I'm sure you'd agree, costs are going to go up for those final expenses. What if I was able to show you a way to take, say, your $15,000 CD and provide your family with nearly a $25,000 income tax-free death benefit? Oh, by the way, if you became terminal in a nursing home or an extended care situation, you could actually get at some of that cash and, for living benefits, and still set aside some paid up life insurance for your family. That's called the burial account concept. And I can't tell you how many agents start selling single premium in that way until they figure out, hey, this is a pretty good opportunity. Do good fact finds, find out the goal for that money, and that's all of a sudden where those much greater premiums present themselves. The average premium that we see on Generation Legacy is about $30,000 to $35,000, and the average premium we see for the single premium whole life is about $20,000 to $25,000. So there's great opportunities out there if you're asking the right questions. The maximum face amount that we see for single premium whole life is based on the maximum net amount at risk. And that's simply the difference between the face amount that we issue and the premium paid. That gap is what we call the net amount at risk. And this is a table by age, by underwriting class of what those high net amount at risk is, might be. So I think our software won't let you to violate these, so you don't have to worry about remembering any of these numbers. Cash values, they accumulate in this product again on a non-participating basis. Here's another key difference: partial surrenders. This product permits partial surrenders after the first policy year within limits up to after the sixth policy year, 100% of the value is available from the product. So I think the key here to remember is that if a client really gets in financial difficulty, needs to pull some money out of the life product based on the cash value, they can do that. Of course, yes, it does bring down the death benefit, but if they need that, it is available as a partial surrender. Loans are available at any time at a rate of 8%. So then you have that accelerated death benefit rider. The same 3 health event triggers that I gave you for Generation Legacy are the ones that apply here, and you see on the screen. The same idea of this benefit is paid out once, paid out in a lump sum, and the money can be used for whatever reason the client deemed necessary. But here's one of the differences. With this product, you can do either a full acceleration or a partial acceleration, meaning that if the client wants to do a full acceleration and take out the maximum amount they can do that once and done. The life insurance is gone, they got their cash, everything is done. But they could say, you know what? Like that 70-year-old example I showed you earlier, I'm going to take out some cash for living needs and then keep another portion over here to give me some paid up life insurance. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. So accelerated death benefit rider, the first trigger was terminal illness. The same definition here is applicable, and that's 12 months or less to live. But in this case, the client could elect to do a full acceleration at a rate of 95% of the face amount, less than $250 charge. Now you might say, well, what happened to the 5%? And as I told you earlier, life insurance companies, when they set up these riders, if we're going to pay out a death benefit in advance, there's cost for that. So you either do it through the lean approach that I showed you with Generation Legacy, or you do it through this approach that we have with single premium whole life. And with this product, we do it with the approach of taking that 5% and holding that back in order to pay it out. So the client could basically, on a face amount, take 95,000 out of 100,000, walk away, and they're done. Or they could say, you know what, I do want some life insurance. So out of that face of 100, give me a $25,000 paid up life policy, and I'll accelerate the other 75,000 at 95%. And we can do that. Qualified nursing, same definition of qualified that we talked about for Generation Legacy, but here, because the client's going to live a little longer, the holdback now is at 90% of the face, because they are going to live longer. We're advancing that death benefit out sooner. So it's 90% on a full acceleration, less a $250 charge, or again, do a partial acceleration. For extended care, home health care, adult daycare, again, they're going to live longer yet, so the holdback is a little more, so you can accelerate it 80% less the $250 charge. Or again, in all these examples, do the partial acceleration I described. Chronic illness, same definition for nursing home or extended care situations, 2 out of 6 activities of daily living, or a client suffering from a severe organic mental illness. In either situation, that qualifies them to be chronically ill. Now let's look at some premiums to death benefits. And I want you to be thinking about all those clients you have out there that had money in CDs and money markets. And if you've done your effective fact find, you know where the money is, you know something about it, you know what their goal is. Now, there are going to be times when your client says, you know, I'm not going to tell you how much I have in my CDs and money markets, but you know what? I do have several CDs and money markets. And if you start that conversation because the trust isn't there yet to tell you how much, say, okay, Mr. Jones, that's great. You have CDs and money markets. Let me ask you, what is your goal with that money? Well, Michael, I'm going to use some of it for income, some of it I'm going to pass along. Okay, let's use an example of some of the money you want to pass along. Let's maybe just use hypothetically example of $50,000. You're 65, a non-tobacco user. If you're male, at that standard underwriting class, we're going to issue a face amount at $80,385. And oh, by the way, if you have some health issues, table 5 to table 8 types risk, we're only going to reduce that death benefit roughly $5,000 to $6,000. It's going down to $74,738. If you're female, that $50,000 converts to almost a $91,000 death benefit. And oh, by the way, if you have some health issues, the face amount is about $85,000. So immediately, what I've done for this female client at 65, if I've increased her estate by almost $41,000 at issue. And if the client says, well, what if I'm in the 24% tax bracket, I'm making 3% on my money? It would take her almost 27 years to get that bump you increased her estate by almost $41,000, knowing that the life insurance benefit of almost $91,000 is there to be paid income tax free. Beautiful concept. People that think about moving CDs over to their grandkids, once they see this, their eyes open wide. And I tell you this, once you have a client hooked on the concept and then you personalize it for them, you make that sale, you should be asking for referrals early and often because they want to tell their friends about this great idea that they're seeing that they're doing for their family. They want to do it for their friends and other family members. Here's a 70-year-old, little older, a little shorter life expectancy, but the numbers still look good, don't they? For the female, for the male, at standard, it's a little over 72,000 a face. And for the female at standard, it's about $80,500 plus. So with that special underwriting class for the, people have a few more health issues, the face goes down by about $5,000 to $6,000. Still a very great situation for them at 70. Forms, again, go to our agent portal. We'll get you all the forms you need. Call IMES. They'll get you steered in the right direction. And again, we have lots of great sales support material on our agent portal. Go out and explore that, or IMES will help guide you through what we have out there for your use. Now, here's kind of the icing on the cake. Agents work very, very hard and spend good money to get leads, get an appointment, get in the door, and get to the point where they can even offer something, right? It's an expensive, hard business to get to that point. The last thing you want to do is worry about underwriting, right? And waiting to hear about it. So once you're at point of sale and you complete the application with this, and it's a paper application, you're going to pick up the phone and call our call center with your client there, and we're going to complete with your client about a 12-minute interview. All right. And that interview, we're going to ask them the same health questions they completed on the paper app that you're going to submit to us. But by getting their permission, we're going to get the data we need to look at to do the rest of the underwriting. The MIB, the prescription drug database, all that type of stuff. And if stuff pops up in those database reads, we're going to be able to bounce back and forth with the client to resolve any discrepancies. So we're doing live underwriting there on the phone, so that well over, I'm saying well over 90% of these cases, we're going to make an immediate underwriting decision. So if we can't, we're going to be making it very quickly thereafter. After your client's completed the interview and underwriting decision, we're going to be giving you the underwriting decision, not your client. We're giving it to you. You're the one that's going to control the interview and give that back to the client. We're also going to give you a confirmation number for that interview that we ask you to write on the top of the application. Once the appointment's done, please get the app and all the appropriate forms to us, regardless of what the underwriting decision was. And I will tell you that the call center phone number you see there, 888-368-9678. The hours are 9 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, as well as 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Fridays. These are Eastern times. We do support English and Spanish languages. Other languages are available upon request. If you have hearing impaired clients, we have TTY services in English and Spanish. The key thing is this interview's got to be completed in 5 business days in order for us to process your app. And I will tell you that if for some reason you're thinking, well, you know, what about if I'm completing the sale on a Saturday or it's after hours, what do I do? Still, when you finish the interview, pick up the phone, call the call center, and you get the voice prompt, leave your name and number, your client's name and number, obviously tell them it's a Baltimore Life piece of business, and tell us the date and time you want us to call your client to get the interview done. You don't have to be present, but remember, you're the one that's going to get the underwriting decision, not the client. So you control that process. We'll get the interview done, call you back with the underwriting decision, and it's all done quick and easy. All right. If it's done during business hours that I gave you there, it's all done with you on the phone. For pre-qualification, last point here, Sandy, just for tee-up is the applications. We have an app for each product. And the reason we do for Generation Legacy, we have one level of underwriting, that's standard. So as a result, we have a Part A section. If you're all knowing the Part A questions, everything else looks good, we're going to issue. If you get a yes in Part A, that's a knockout. We can't issue Gen Leg. For single premium whole life, it's a different app. We have a Part A and a Part B. If you're all knowing Part A and Part B, everything else looks good, we're going to issue level 1, which is the standard underwriting class. If you're all knowing Part B with one yes, all knowing Part A with one yes in Part B, and everything else looks good, we'll issue that second tier, which is the special tier. If you get any yeses in Part A, it's a knockout. All right. So that's a quick way to understand the pre-qualification on those applications. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to Sandy. I want to thank everyone for your time today, and I especially want to thank our friends and partners at IAMS who did such a great job for us and you. Thanks so much, everyone. Sandy?
Thank you so much. As you can see, Baltimore Life has so much to offer in regards to product and service. So I'm going to get a poll question out there and ask if you'd like to get contracted with Baltimore Life. If you've already completed our paperless contracting, just check yes and we'll get you contracted. If you are not contracted with us currently, we'll get you out that paperwork so you can get that completed. If there are any questions, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to get them answered. I will tell you with Baltimore Life, if for some reason, there's a question or a concern, we have direct access to them. They make it very easy to ask those questions. They have a great website. Once you get contracted, I would suggest that you get on their website. And you can pull forms there, you can run quotes, you can look at your pending cases. So it's a very responsive website. They just redid it, so it has a brand new fancy look to it as well. So I'm going to close out this question. I'm going to go to the next poll question, and that's if you would like to take qualified funds and turn them into an income tax-free benefit. So Gary, we have one question where the agent is asking if the client has a main residence in California, but they spend 6 months in the Philippines, are they able to get any type of coverage, or how do you look at that?
Are they a legal resident? Do they have a social or a tax ID number? In those cases, they would qualify. The business, of course, would have to be written while they're in the state of California. Essentially, the Philippines becomes a vacation spot for them or whatever. which many people do around the world. But I think the key thing is that they're a legal resident or have a legal immigration number, and that the business is being written based on the domicile of California and taking the app in the state of California at that time.
Okay.
By the way, Sandy, one other quick thing I'll mention, because you mentioned the website. If your agents ever have questions and they want to get right to a live line all the time, it's our agent relations number. That toll free is 877-533-2468. And 877-533-2468 will get you help. But I tell you, your folks in IMS, they know our products backwards and forwards. They're more than happy to help you.
Well, and to talk about, are rewarding agents, not only do we with, what we offer in the trip, but Baltimore Life also does have an amazing trip as well. So when you write business through us, you have all that business. Let's say you write with Baltimore Life, you have all that business count toward our trip, but then Baltimore Life also has a trip as well that you can qualify. So you could get 2 trips off of one piece of business or one company that you write with.
Love that double dipping.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, I appreciate everyone attending, taking time out of your schedule. Anyone who is dealing with this weather, please stay warm, please stay safe. If you have questions, of course, again, my name is Sandy Albers. I'll be more than happy to get any of those questions answered. Just call 1-800-255-5055. Gary, try to stay warm. Thank you so much. So greatly appreciate it. And everyone have the great rest of the week. Thank you.